So what I've got here is an AU Falcon motor, the i6 motor. This would apply, I guess, to the EF, ELs, even the B series, but the bigger problem is with the AUs. The AU harmonic balancers don't have any threaded holes for you to put the bolts through when you're using a tool like this. So normally you would have to get the very expensive proper Ford tool, which goes in there. Costs anywhere from $170 to $240 for this particular tool. And it's a great tool because you can actually do it in the car without removing the radiator. Now, I've got the advantage of the engine is out here, but I'm just going to show you how I've got around it. And this will work with AUs because I've seen somebody use shackles, small shackles. I think I've got an example of one here. You know, these shackles that you use for when you're towing a trailer. You put these on your chains. Apparently that idea works for the B series harmonic balancers, but it does not work for the AUs, and it's because it's slightly different for the AUs. There's just very little space in there. So I'm now pulling this off, and I'll show you what I've done. They're just 3 bolts that I've got in there. As you can see, it's slowly coming. This has been something that I've been working on and racking my brain over how to get around this problem. I've tried everything over the last few days, just trying to find something that will go in there and bite inside this pulley and get it off. And there it goes. So let me just stop filming so I can use 2 hands and show you exactly what the setup of this is. So this is what the setup is. So as you can see, this is the pulley from the AU. So there's no threaded holes in there where you normally wind in a bolt and, you know, use your pulley like this to get it out. So what I've used is basically a bolt like this. Now this is it's got a 16mm head on the end of it. I don't know what thread pitch that is. It could be 3/8, I'm not sure, but anyway, it's got a 16mm head. The length of it is, where are we? About 80mm long. Probably doesn't even have to be that long really, but anyway, that's what I just had at the time. The key is to grind the head of the bolt. Actually, not the head, sorry, just the neck. See where see that little chamfer right in there that I've put? So you need to chamfer a small groove in there. See if I can get that to come up properly. Like that. Not very deep. You don't want to make it too deep, otherwise you'll weaken the head of the bolt and it'll just probably bend off. And the other key point is to put the chamfer right under the highest peak of the head of the bolt, right there. You don't want to do it on a flat part. You want to do it where the most material is going to get behind the balancer. Just take a note of that there. So you've got the peak of the head of the bolt here, and the chamfer runs across it horizontally like that. Okay, so not a deep groove, and that will just slide in there and lock in. You'll find a, whoops, let's put that in there, just like that. Right, so that will stay in place. Now, what I've done is, first you load your bolts in your pulley, like so. Put a washer behind it. I mean, even without a washer it'll probably work anyway, but I'll just put a washer there anyway. Wind your bolt on. And then what you're going to do, and this is a bit of a pain, but you've got to now fit this onto the balancer with all the bolts intact. So just put them all in, and when you get your first one in, then just wind up your pulley, just so it gets a bit of tension on it, and then you can go for the other 2 bolts. It's a bit fiddly, but you will get there. You know, not even $5 worth of bolts. If you've got one of these pulleys, I think these pulleys are about $30 or something like that. from Super Cheap. Better than $200, and it definitely works. You've just seen it work. Now, can you do this on the car? Yes, you can, but I dare say you'll have to remove the radiator. The only advantage with a proper floor tool is that you don't need to remove the radiator. You can actually do it straight on the car. You'd have to take the fans out, of course, but you don't have to take the radiator out. But I'm pretty sure using this tool, just because of the length of that bolt, you do have to remove the radiator, which is not that hard, but still. Hey, you can't beat what really, this is probably a total of about 40 bucks worth here, including the pulley, compared to $200. So, there it is. The cheapest way out, and that definitely works, again, for the AU pulley. If you can do this on an AU pulley, you can do it on any other pulley, any other E-Series, B-Series, it will work.